We have a guest on the phone with us. I don't think we've ever actually had Chuck on the show. Look forward to speaking with him. Of course, he had a very popular book turned into a movie starring George Clooney, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. He's got another book out that looks really, really interesting. Please welcome to the show, Chuck Berris. Hey, Chuck.
Good to talk to you, Mark and Brian. How you doing?
We're doing good. Before we get into what this book is about, and I love the subject, have you been approached to do another for this book to be made into a movie?
Oh yeah, it's out of the studios now. They're talking about it, and I just keep my fingers crossed. You know, it'd be great if they did.
Well, as I said, it's a very interesting subject. You want to give the synopsis?
Oh yeah, it's set about 5 or 6 years from now, and in the year 2012. There's a new president, new laws, euthanasia's gone, and there's a new reality show called The Big Question. And without getting into the mechanics of it, the contestant that answers the most questions correctly gets a crack at the big question. And if that contestant gets that question right, he or she will win $100 million. But if they get it wrong, they're executed right on the stage, and the viewing audience watches.
They're killed.
They're killed.
Wow. What is the type of execution differ, or is it always the same?
Well, the execution's about the same, but when you read the book, you'll find out that execution.
Okay.
But I just want to tell you that this isn't, it's not a program that I would, ever want to do or produce. It's just, it's sort of a comment on where television, might be going.
Hey, yeah. What are your thoughts on reality television?
Well, I think, I don't really watch them, but I certainly know about them, and I think that they're getting kind of mean-spirited and dark, angry, and they're much different than what I think we did in the 60s and 70s, which was really fun. We were having fun, and I think we were having, protecting our contestants to a certain degree, so that it would be fun. But I think that's all changed now, and I think it's a whole new ball game out there.
Now, Chuck, with obviously you exec produced and created the Dating Game and the Newlywed Game, and those shows are a part of Americana now. When you first came up with the concept of the Gong Show, which was drastically different from those two first shows, Dating Game and Newlywed Game, did you think that it would become the cult hit that it was? And how did you come about hosting that?
Well, the Dating Game and Newlywed Game, when they came into television, they brought spontaneity, and that was the big contribution I made. All the game shows before that were stunt shows and Q&A. And when I went out, I was on a real roll. I had a bunch of shows on the air, so I went out looking for a real talent show, good talent, because there weren't any venues for talent, good talent, and all the nightclubs were closed up, and there weren't any variety shows on the air. But I couldn't find any good talent, so I found bad talent. But what I found was bad talent. And I came back to ABC, and I said to them, or NBC, I guess it was, and I said to them, let's do a show with bad talent. And, and I could do no wrong then, so they put it on. The reason I became the host was because the host who was doing it, John Barber, who was a really great guy, but he just didn't know. He kept thinking this was a real talent show, and if a lousy singer was singing, and J.P. Morgan said, "Get him off the stage. His socks are awful." John Barber would feel really bad about that. So the NBC vice president, Madeline David, at the time, said to me, "You've got to either you do the show yourself because you know how it works, or I got to get another replacement because I'm running out of time." And that's when I decided to do the show.
Well, were you up for doing it at that point?
I'm a big ham, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to. I think that I'll tell you this. I think if I stayed behind the scenes and let somebody else do it, this show might still be on. But I did it, and I think that I just sent that show right off the air.
I couldn't disagree more, but I mean, you were I just love to see what hat you'd throw on, and we'll be back right after this stuff, and there are more stuff to come. It was just so un-game show host, and that's the thing I loved about the show, and the reason probably it had such a cult following is it made fun of itself as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to ask you, Chuck, we all hear the stories about, it was a very loose show, and that was the thing. It was just loose. And, there's stories about the 5-day, filming 5 shows in one day, and then you guys go for a lunch break, you come back, and, after a 2-martini lunch or something, and then, you all acted maybe a little drunk, a little loaded, a little tipsy.
I got to tell you something. This is the honest-to-God truth. We were never drunk, and we were never, I was never on drugs, and nobody that I know of in my company was. I had a public company. I was running a public company, and I couldn't do that kind of stuff. And it was too dangerous. I was an extremist by nature. I mean, I would eat 35 packs of chewing gum a day. So I knew if I ever touched drugs, I would be a junkie in about a minute and a half.
Yeah. Did you ever nail JP?
No. What a question.
Well, she was naughty and hot, and
she was the greatest. She was fabulous, but she kept me miles away. I mean, she was just wonderful. When she was in front of me out there as a judge, I felt real secure, and when she wasn't, I wasn't in good shape.
Chuck, got to tell you, I'm kind of buzzed about reading the book now, because who better than you to write a book, a novel, about a game show where people are competing for large amounts of money, but if they lose, they are executed on live television. Because it is a wonderful comment on where what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger film with
Running Man?
Yeah, they said it. I mean, that's what it was. It was a game show where death was on the line.
That's right. It was way ahead of its time.
And so really buzzed about this.
Well, I'll tell you this about, a lot of people are now changing. I mean, when I go out and tour for the book and ask an audience who would watch this television show, a few hands go up, but a lot of hands don't. But I don't believe all the hands that don't go up. I'm sure that quite a few of them wouldn't watch, but I don't think all of them that said they wouldn't watch. There's a curiosity factor here that's incredible. The other thing is that I think you can get contestants for that today.
Wow.
You wouldn't have to wait 5 or 6 years, because there are those desperate people out there. I mean, the contestant on the Big Question couldn't be terminally ill, or couldn't be a very old person.
Okay.
They had to be just, desperate.
All right, now, Chuck, I'm going to ask this question. I'm interested in your opinion of the answer. If, in fact, this game show did exist and you put it out there, do you think people would sign up to be contestants on that show based on their need for the money or their need for the 15 minutes of fame?
No, their need for the money. Totally, their need for the money. There's no 15 minutes of fame in this one. This is too dangerous. And the show that I write about in The Big Question, I figured out it could go on the air. It's tight enough, but this is too serious. I mean, you have to have desperate people, not people who are looking for their fifth. That was Gong Show. This is different.
Well, the film is a dark, humorous book about the greatest reality TV show of all time. Really interesting idea. Now, when you write this book, and now, of course, you did Dangerous Minds and George Clooney, are you thinking of an actor to play, say, the host of the show?
No, I really don't. I'm in the book, but I'm a pathetic little character that's just an old, crippled up old junkie. Not a junkie. Just a sad, pathetic individual. But that's kind of how I foresee myself going down the future. But I don't see anybody playing me. In fact, Sam Rockwell, who played me in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I thought he was really, really good.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, really good. But I thought I was cuter than him. Always.
Everyone did.
All right, well, there are several places that you can meet Chuck. It starts Monday at 7 p.m. It's a book signing at Book Soup in Hollywood, Monday at 7. Then Tuesday at 7 at Vroman's in Pasadena. And then Wednesday at 7 at Borders in Los Angeles. Chuck, great talking to you. Can't wait to read the book.
Thank you very, very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Come in and spend some time with us sometime, okay?
You bet.
All right, Chuck Berris. The book is called The Big Question. It is in stores now.
Nice.